They deeply regret ghosting you. They are extremely embarrassed watching you shine. They thought disappearing would protect them from responsibility. And they believed that silence would quietly erase what happened between you. At the time, it felt easier for them to step back without explanation than to face a conversation that required honesty, accountability, and clarity. They convinced themselves that they would settle everything and that your connection will fade without needing to be addressed directly. But things did not unfold the way they expected. And the space they created did not bring they did not bring the relief they were hoping for. Instead of moving on comfortably, they could not control instead of moving on comfortably, they found themselves thinking about you in moments they could not control, and those thoughts did not come with peace. They came with a growing awareness that what they avoided did not disappear, and that the way they handled things left something unfinished. At the same time, your life did not pause. You continued moving forward in a way that was steady, visible, and real, and that is what they were not prepared to see. They expected distance to affect you more deeply, and they assumed your silence would keep you in a place that was easy for them to understand. Instead, they are now watching you become more confident, more focused, and more present in your own life without needing anything from them. That contrast is difficult for them to process. They are seeing a version of you that reflects growth, clarity, and self respect. And they are aware that they chose to walk away from that. They chose to walk away from that. What they once ignored is now standing in front of them in a way that is clear and undeniable. And that realization carries a weight they did not expect to feel. Embarrassment has started to settle in, not because of what others are saying, but because of what they now understand within themselves. They know how they handled the situation, and they know that disappearing without explanation does not reflect strength or maturity. Watching you move forward without needing closure from them makes that realization even stronger. They may try to handle this feeling, and they may continue to act as if everything is normal on the outside, but internally there is a shift that they cannot avoid. They are questioning their decisions, and they are replaying moments where they could have acted differently. That kind of reflection is not comfortable because it brings clarity after the opportunity to act has already passed. At the same time, they are they are noticing how others respond to you now, that adds another layer to what they are feeling. The respect, the attention, and the recognition you are receiving are things they did not fully appreciate when they had access to you. Seeing it from a distance makes them understand your value in a way they did not before. You may not be aware of how close they are observing you, because this is not something this is not something they are openly expressing. It exists in quiet moments, in their thoughts, and in the way they react to what they see. They are paying attention more than they expected, and they are trying to understand how everything changed. What they are experiencing now is not just regret for ghosting you. It is the realization that they walked away from something that is now clearly growing without them. That understanding creates a tension they cannot easily resolve, because it is connected to a choice they already made. They cannot return to the moment where they could have handled things differently, and that is what makes it difficult. You, however, are not standing in that same space anymore. You are no longer waiting for an explanation, and you are no longer trying to understand why they disappeared. Your focus has shifted, and your energy is no longer tied to what they did or did not do. That change is what allows you to move freely while they are still processing the past. This is not about proving anything to them. It is about the natural result of you continuing your life without holding on to what was left unresolved. And when someone watches you grow from a distance after they chose silence instead of clarity, they are left with a feeling that cannot be ignored, because what they see now is not the version of you they thought they left behind. It is a version they can no longer have access to. Thank you for watching this episode of Prophetic Diary with Alice. If this is your first time coming across this channel, thank you for staying up to this end. I pray may God continue to bless you. And to my returning subscribers, thank you. May you always remain blessed. Thank you for your abundant support. Thank you for your continuous support towards this channel.